All right. Another installment of Dating from the Inside Out. And like I said, it takes about 3 weeks for you to know if something that you are in is, well, I always say it takes about 3 weeks to know if the person that you're seeing is someone that you want to date exclusively. It takes about 3 weeks for you to know that, just enough time to observe their patterns. Do they call you consistently? Are they reciprocating your energy and that kind of thing? And I just had my first yellow flag with Temple, and it was this. So I noticed that during in his Facebook stories, he posts kind of passive aggressive messages. I at first took it as he's happy to have me in his life, and so the stories were kind of like, oh, that's cute. It would be things like, also, there are women out here that return your phone calls and your text messages in a timely manner. And I know he was talking about me because he mentioned that as one of the things that he enjoyed about me or liked about me and us. And then, so I let that go. Then there was another one that went something like, you lost and um, God got me and my long suffering has paid off and all this stuff. So I'm like, okay, still assuming he's talking about me just in general, but I'm like, okay, who is he talking to though? Like, who is his audience? Because I felt like that is a subliminal message to someone very specific. And then this last message, the third one, I'm assuming there are only three. There's a few, but I'm thinking three I can remember. The third one went, why waste your energy on someone who doesn't even check to see if you're okay? Call or text to see if you're okay. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. So who are you talking to? Who is it that you're wishing would call and check on you or concerned about calling and checking on you? So that was my first yellow flag, and I may or may not have handled this the right way, but I'll continue. So I just locked that in my brain. And then, like I said in one of the previous installments, that he and I met when we were trying to make sure that we weren't being catfished and all of that. We met on my front porch, 6 feet apart after a brief hug, 6 feet apart, and we talked, and it was wonderful. And then right before that, we Skyped or video chatted over Facebook. And so, I understand that we're in this quarantine and that that's the safe way to do things, to keep the social distancing and so forth. So I have been waiting on another video chat. We haven't had one. This is going into week 4. Haven't had another video chat request, and I haven't offered because, I tend to like put my foot on the gas when I'm really into someone, and so I'm learning to like pace myself. So I haven't offered another video chat. Neither has he. But I have offered like 2 times if we could meet out on a sunny day and have a socially distanced date where we're walking at the park or sitting on my stoop again. Um, and then I went so far as to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to go grocery shopping so that I have enough food in the house for 2 weeks because the incubation period for COVID-19 is 14 days based on scientific studies. So I said, okay, I'm going to go to the grocery store and I'm going to get enough food so that I can stay in this house 100% quarantine for 14 days. Then that way I'll know I've not been exposed to the virus. Or at least if I was, I'm asymptomatic and my contagious period is over. I don't know. And I'm thinking he'd be like, okay, cool. I'm going to do the same thing so that we can have like a date at each other's apartment or something. Now I didn't tell him that, but that's what I told him, that I was going grocery shopping so I could stay in the house for 2 weeks. And so he said no to the social distancing date, walk out in the park. He's like, well, you think I can just be in the park and not want to hold your hand and touch you? And I was like, okay, that's cute, but that's not satisfying my need to be present in your presence. You know what I'm saying? And then the whole idea of like coming over, he's like, well, I don't know if I got you sick, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. I wouldn't forgive myself. And I'm like, but you go to the barber every 2 weeks and he shaves your face and your head. You're there for about, at least an hour. You're not worried about killing him. He's been your barber for 40 years. I know you care more about him than me, I would think. And you go out grocery shopping whenever you feel like you're wanting something in the house. You don't wear gloves or masks or anything. And then you order from DoorDash every day, almost every day. And so every day, some stranger is bringing food to your house. You're not concerned about your safety when it comes to that. So what's really going on? I started to feel like, is this because he's an introvert and he said that, like, is this him being shy? Is he nervous about seeing me? And so that coupled with those passive aggressive stories that he's posting on Facebook, coupled with a glass of wine, like a big glass of wine, I sent him a message and I said, you know what? I just want to be sure. You're saying that you do not want to see each other again. You don't want to meet again until after the quarantine. He said, yes, because I'm worried about it. I mean, I think about not waiting, but then I think about what if this, what if that, right? I said, okay, so we're clear. You don't want to meet up until after the quarantine. That's right. I said, okay, cool. Then uh, my hash browns cooking, so I'm gonna take y'all with me. So then he said, that's correct. He doesn't. So I said, okay, well, I just need to say something to you. And it is, got hash browns. Okay. I'm spilling them all over the place, but I got hash browns. So then I said, okay, you don't want to see each other until after the quarantine. Well, how about, excuse me, how about we just, sorry, how about we you know, just fall back until after the quarantine is over then, if you're that concerned, because I don't like there not being any way that we can talk about being together and around each other in any way. So again, the wine. I said, I feel like I can't help the feeling that there's another woman in your life. And what I meant by that wasn't necessarily another woman that he's sleeping with. Because he calls me all times of the night. We don't have that issue. But I feel like there's another woman that's occupying his mind. Like he's still hurt or disappointed by somebody else that has nothing to do with me, because he's all up in his stories talking about things that I'm not doing. And he's venting and he's being kind of passive aggressive and kind of like poking her, whoever she is. I said, well, how about, I can't, first of all, I said, I can't shake this feeling that there's someone else. You very adamant that you don't want to be around me, around each other during the COVID situation. I understand that. That's fine. I don't, but I do, because I feel like there's ways to do it where we can make sure that we're doing it safely if we both mutually wanted to be around each other, but you don't. And that's okay. But let's just put it on ice. Let's check back after the quarantine so that you feel safe and so that I can keep it pushing, because I'm not someone who wants to be with someone who does not who doesn't reciprocate my desire to be around each other and be together in some capacity other than just texting and talking. Like no video chats, no more face to face, no social distance dating. He don't want to do any of that. But you out in the world, like, how concerned are you? You don't wear a mask. Like, what's really going on? Like, so I put up a story today. My passive aggressive story was trust your spidey senses. And my spidey senses are tingling. I believe that Mr. G is, last name is G. I believe that he does have some unresolved emotional attachment to some woman. I do believe that. Obviously, she rejected him because he's all poking her and telling her, I found somebody. She answers my calls. She checks on me, like, who are you talking to and why do they matter? So I do feel like he has an emotional attachment to someone. And then I also feel like he's using the social distancing to intentionally distance us. I don't feel like it's just about COVID-19. So the chronicles will continue. I will talk to him today. He sent me a long voicemail last night. He called and I didn't answer because I'm like, I really not in the mood. And again, I had the wine and I wanted to be clear if we do have a conversation about it. So he called me and he left this voicemail saying, there is no other woman. I feel like that's a slap in the face of my integrity, or my, your integrity. You're questioning my integrity and all this other kind of stuff. And he reiterated that he does not feel like it's safe for us to meet up during the shutdown. All things I've heard already, all things I figured he'd say, but I'm not trying to hear it. So the question of this installment is, do you trust your spidey senses? When you have that yellow flag, understand that they add up to red flags. Don't ignore the yellow flags. Do you, no matter how into someone you are, do you love yourself enough to listen to the flags?